Hello friends, family, other creatures of the sea, welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today we have a game on Stargazers between Lambo and Neeb. And Stargazers is a map that is not quite on the ladder, but it is a map that is extremely beautiful, aesthetically pleasing once again. I'm not sure if it is because whenever I watch things on higher graphics, in this case the ultra graphics, things just look pretty. Or if it is because these maps are actually very well made, but holy crap, these new maps are just crazy beautiful. I love the colors here as well. I just love how bright this is generally and how kind of popping these colors are. I'm not a designer and I do not know the terms for these things, but I'm sure there's something nice that a designer can say about these colors. I just think this is such a pretty map. You have this type of stuff as well, these little purple craters. I'm not sure if this is underwater or just above ground, but it looks freaking pretty, man. I love it. Alright. The map itself, of course, a couple of interesting features, which I will talk about pretty soon. The first feature that we're seeing here, being revealed by Neeb, is that Neeb right now is trying to mine away. There's usually 2 patches with 10 minerals each on your, well, I guess this could be a natural or a third base location. And Neeb is going to start mining these. This base is not spottable by the watchtower. This is a very important thing to note, okay? You cannot spot that base with the watchtower. You can see the right side gas, and I think 1 or 2 of the right side mineral patches, but you do not know for sure if there's going to be a base there. Unless you see these probes mining it, obviously, then that is a pretty decent tell. We'll see Neeb build it immediately. Oh no, he's not sending this probe to the correct mineral patch. What happened here is that he right-clicked with 2 probes on the mineral patch. They arrived at the same time, and then one of the 2 probes was like, well, if that mineral patch is busy already, I'm just gonna go mine some minerals from over here. So we see a couple of minerals actually being mined from the incorrect mineral patch. That is kind of unfortunate. But the third base will end up going down. Double gases before that base even. That is really quite quick. So the first oracles are making their way across the map right now. Ooh, look at that bird. Now, this is definitely above water then. Purple birds. God, I love the color of those birds as well. Oh, they're a fair bit lower. They're flying way lower than the oracles. Oracles are way further up in the sky apparently. I was not aware of that. The oracles make their way over. We'll start taking out some of these drones. Do a decent job at that as well. Lambo sends 1 queen to the main base, 2 queens in the natural. I have to wait and see how that's going to pan out. As the oracles make a very large swoop around, and we'll try to go in towards the net once again. Its overlord is going to spot that. That gives Lambo some time to respond here. Should not really lose anything as a result. 1, 2. 5 workers killed so far by Neeb. Pretty decent start. Takes the extra gases immediately as well. Follows this up with, what is that, a single phoenix? So 2 oracles into, oh, excuse me. Triple Stargate Phoenix. Now this is the type of build order that we never really see. And it's not really viable on any map that isn't this map, I guess. Because you have nothing to worry about. You can just build a battery here and have your 2 adepts and your stalker. You can also be mining from 6 gases practically immediately. So you have an infinite amount of gas. I wouldn't even mind if Neeb would have built a second cybernetics core here. To get to get the +1 air attack without showing to your opponent that you're researching it. 4th base is going to get taken at the 6-minute mark. This is really crazy. This is a really crazy setup, honestly. Here comes an overseer, going to make his way across the map. And the first, what is this? 6, 7 phoenixes are also going to fly across the map. Overseer gets taken out here, +1 air weapons gets researched. And now we'll have to see these extra spores being built. 1, 2 spores on the way already. Here we go. Hydra then has finished too. We have 7 overlords being produced. Lambo is aware that a couple of these overlords most likely are going to end up falling. Big transfuses. Spore is going to reposition itself. I think all of these queens might just end up dying. 2 queens already have gone down. Here comes the 3rd. It's the queen that had some energy left. That means that transfuses will not be possible anymore. 3 new queens are going to show up. And Neeb is like, hey, that's kind of interesting. Because I can also lift these if you want to. Like, I can stay here all day, buddy. There's a lot of links on the map currently. I'm absolutely loving this build so far out of Neeb. It's going to follow this up with a fleet beacon as well. 10 phoenixes into fleet beacon, most likely going to be carriers. We pick up a couple of extra drones here. 64 workers for Lambo against the 70 of Neeb. So Neeb in a fantastic position so far. Every single queen on the map is, well, dying right now. That is queen number 6 and 7, I believe it is. No, just queen number 5 and 6. Now, 2 phoenixes do end up falling as well, and so will a couple of hydras. Drone round, yep, is kind of inevitable. It's either a drone round or you're all inning. Like, there's no in-between anymore at this point. Another Overlord gets taken out. Don't forget that these Phoenixes will still serve a purpose. Taking out Overlords around the map will be capable of taking out a couple of drones at the outside bases. Every single time you build a base, you'll need to construct 2 to 3 spores as well to make sure that you don't die. So yeah, this is not an easy situation whatsoever here for Lambo. He is extremely far behind after this early game. I mean, losing 9 workers, losing 6 queens. It's not quite what you want, especially if your opponent is very keen on just building an infinite amount of probes, nexi and cannons. And carriers out already as well. First 3 carriers are out already. Oh, here we go. Another Phoenix gets taken out. Another Phoenix will go down. Actually, that's kind of sloppy. There's 3 Phoenixes going down there for no real reason. 3 Phoenixes for an Overlord is a trait that I do not endorse. If the 3 Phoenix for 1 Overlord campaign would start, I would not be voting for that in the upcoming election cycle. I'll just, you know, I'll come out clean here. I'll just say it. I'm not one to discuss politics a lot, but I would not vote for the 3 Phoenix for 1 Overlord party. That is something that I'm not down with. Next 3 carriers are going to be pushed out, as well as a couple of extra gateways and a Twilight Council. 5th base on the way, 9 minutes into the game. Mothership as well, +2 air weapons. This all... Oh my good lord. 5 Phoenixes for nothing. It's another political party that I would not be endorsing. As a StarCraft 2 influencer, I'm going to come out and say that I wish the 5 Phoenix for nothing party to not win the upcoming election cycle. Oi, 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 oi. 5 extra gates on the way. That's going to bring the total up to 9? 8? 9. There's 4 right now. That means 8. Yeah. This is weird. This is really weird. It's an odd game. The queen count isn't too healthy. We're only at 4. We have Vipers on the way already. The Hydra count is sufficient to hold. The question is, what are the plans of Neeb? Is he going to go for some type of push out with charge, storm, +2 on the air and +1 on the ground? Or is this just going to be a very turtley game, kind of an old school PvZ, a pre-patch PvZ, which apparently is possible on this map because it's so extremely good for turtling. I mean, having that 3rd base for free in your main base practically, in that pocket expansion, yeah, that's kind of fantastic. That is, well, not just kind of, that is freaking amazing if you're a Protoss player. You're gonna love that. We also see this base being taken here right now. There's just a lot of issues. There is just, yeah, there's really a lot of issues that I see for Lambo in this game. He does have 102 workers, but he doesn't quite have the upgrades yet that he is going to be needing. Ay, 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 ay. A couple of aggressive revelations as well over here. We'll be taking out the tumor right, left, and center. Creep hasn't expanded much since the 6-minute mark, I have to admit as well. The reason for that is because every single queen got taken out by these Phoenixes. Infestors are out right now, not in large enough numbers to truly contribute a lot. Infestor is a unit that if you have 5 or 6, 6 or 7, 8 or 9, basically any number between 8 and 12, I would say actually, is a good number of infestors. But below that, they're relatively useless, as usually you need to send in multiple ones to fungal the same army a couple of times in a row. If you can't chain fungal, there's really no point, I usually say. Well, I mean, you still slow down an army, you scare the Protoss, might force out the recall, but usually it's not that much. You're gonna need more infestors. 3 infestors still isn't really enough. We have a run by heading over towards that right side. Ooh, look at that! These minerals are being long distance mined. That is kind of cool, because if you take out these minerals, then all of a sudden you have a free run by in towards the main base. Or even with your main army, you could start moving there, of course. Let's not forget about that. It's also something you can do. I'd love for these rocks to be taken out. Yeah, that's a good move. That is a good move. I'm a big fan of good moves. Something I do endorse. Oh, here comes an aggressive recall. Pop. starts moving in, immediately we'll start to work on these spores as well. That means a lot of these spores are going to get taken out before the army of Lambo is truly in position. Lurkers now moving into position. Every single spore is gone though. We get a revelation perhaps on this far right side. Single carrier gets abducted in. Yep, there we go. Revelation on the right side. Carrier will get abducted in as it was trying to reinforce this position. This is why you don't help your friends. You just look from a distance. It's very dangerous to help. The carrier now knows that. Zealots are going to move towards the top side of the map. These these mineral patches, which, let's face it, minerals are rocks as well. Very hard rocks. Are still up. And this Zealot run by is not quite going to be what Neeb wanted of it. It does pull a big portion of Lambo's army out of position though, so that's nice. More spores are going to get taken out. Microbial Shroud gets used as well, and these lurkers will stay safe because of that. Oop. Nice little duck takes it an Archon. Archon managed to escape though. Oh, no. Get pulled in twice. Very unlucky. 3 more carriers on the way as well as a 6th base. This seems like a perfect map for a little bit of a split map scenario here. And in a split map scenario, I just have to say I'm not favoring Lambo. Neeb is the player that is known to have fantastic late game, great with carriers, great with army movement, understands how to build cannons as well. Just one of these players that really gets the late game. Imagine being a spine and being energy consumed. Energy leached by these vipers. I doubt that feels very fun. It's really taking your life away to cast some spells. Some truly dark magic, my friends. Alright. Fungal is going to hit on this army. Second Fungal is going to hit, and this is what I was talking about. Now you're going to need more infestors, because now you run out of Fungals. This is why usually we see anything up to like 8, 9 infestors, so you can kind of trickle in these infestors one by one. Hope they don't get feedback. You can hit that army again and again and again and again. And in that case, the lurkers are going to be a lot more useful. We see Lambo is trying to slowly but surely transition out of these lurkers, I think. And as I say that, he builds 2 more lurkers. That is kind of odd. I would think that eventually you want to go into a more Broodlord, Corruptor, Infestor, Viper type of army, rather than these high lurker counts. Lurkers are probably good on this map, but yeah, I really would prefer seeing these Broodlords here. Wouldn't mind seeing some workers go now. Try to take this out. I mean, if you can deny this topside base the entire game, and you can take this base for yourself, you're just going to be mining 2 times as much, well, 2 extra bases over your opponent. And that would be huge. that would actually be huge. You have a big lurker Hydra run by going towards the bottom side. Zealot run by on the bottom side. Or Zealot warp in. Will be capable of clearing some of these Hydras at least. But the lurkers obviously will in the end survive. Super battery could get activated to heal the cannon. It will not get activated to heal the cannon. We have an aggressive recall in towards the main base. Not quite sure how useful this actually is though. This might just be locking Neeb in over here. That could be an issue. These mineral patches, if they were just gone, he could have walked there rather than having to recall over it. Can we get a recall? Yep, we do get a recall. 1 carrier gets taken out. Yep, 1 carrier gets taken out. The Templar will also die eventually. I hope. Or it's just going to chill here. Might actually try to deal some damage against the drone. Look at that. 1, 2. Who wins this fight actually? Well, not the drone. I think with 3 drones you can probably kill a Templar though. Yeah, you can definitely kill a Templar with 3 drones. Holy crap. Templar terrible. That is a very uncommon fight to see. 2 links show up and that's the end of that. At the same time, we have a big engagement here on the bottom side. Spores are going to get taken out. No Mothership with this army. 7 Broodlords on the way as well. Lurker count has gone down a fair amount. We have 11 lurkers remaining. They're trying to move into a decent position. Spines dealing some damage as well. Lurkers moving in right now. I think this bottom base needs to be conceded, at least temporarily. Carriers start targeting down lurkers left and right. Spores now the main target here. No revelation on this air army, and that means that there is some potential for abducts, or some potential for parasitic bombs as well. Is that what Lambo is planning on? Yep, 1 abduct goes down, 2nd, perhaps a 3rd. Yep, there we go. 3 abducts in a row. That means that ding 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 ding, you get to pick a prize from the table. Can be anything from a voucher for Starbucks, or perhaps a new fridge. Depending on what you want, of course. Congratulations, Lambo. That's what happens when you get 3 Viper shots off against an army that has feedback in it as well. Of course, that should never happen, because feedback outranges the Viper abduct. And with the Oracle, you should always have free vision because of the Revelation. Neeb not quite using that. It's a little bit frustrating to see. 1DT is going to make its way across the map towards the far right side, or I guess just to hold this gold base position for now. 2 DTs. Where's the second DT going? It's going towards the top side. Oh, the tower. And that I do like a lot. I'd love to see these mineral patches be taken out. Honestly, I think it is such a huge thing to do here. Mineral patches being taken out is fantastic. I love that type of stuff. Oracles are in a bit of a pickle here if they don't start moving quickly. Oh, to get moved away. What are these corruptors doing? 4, 5? I think almost 6 corruptors actually end up falling there. Mothership on the bottom side of the map will defend this position. Double cloak on the Templar. Love to see it. Oh, come on, man. Just take out these patches. This aggressive rotation is so much easier to do than the defensive rotation. Just notice that. Once these mineral patches are gone, it means that the infestors need to walk all the way around. And without infestors, this army is simply not viable. Then you also have this type of recall moving in. Ooh, a lot of Templar actually taking a lot of damage. Mothership gets taken out by a Spore, I think it was. Bottom base does get killed, but this actually cost Neeb a fair amount as well. He is going to recall away from this position, I think, or he could walk away. No, he's actually just going to walk away. I don't mind it. Mothership once again gets rebuilt as well. I still believe that this top side should really be mine, Neeb. 18 minutes into this game. Lambo is struggling to keep his own side of the map, let alone even considering this gold base. Wouldn't mind if a couple of extra workers go to that gold base already, of course. Just oversaturating that gold base. Because these left side bases are always going to get mined. I think that's what Neeb is doing here exactly. Yep. Already moving in. Ooh. Couple of feedbacks going down. Storm as well. Trying to zone out some of these corruptors. How many corruptors do we actually have? It's an interesting question. We have 27 corruptors right now. That's more than 25. But slightly less than 28. Just keep that in the back of your head. 7 lurkers still on the map. Wouldn't mind for these guys to just die. You know, pretend like they're harassing something. They'll kill a cannon and a battery. You need to get rid of them. They're dead supply at this point. It's fairly obvious, I think. They're not really contributing anything whatsoever to this army. It's very nice if you're a Protoss player and you still see that there's 10 lurkers alive. We have this type of composition. The lurkers just don't really achieve anything whatsoever. This position is going to get broken. At the same time, the corruptors try to take out a nexus, but this nexus is pretty useless. This position, however, is very important. I have to wait and see if Neeb is going to be capable of taking out this bottom base one more time. 3 spores will fall, and so will this base. I can only imagine. Big fungal though on every single carrier, and 2 out of the 5 Templar as well. Broodlords moving in. Parasitic bomb gets cast. Single carrier gets sniped. Second carrier gets sniped. Oh, more carriers going down right now. This was a fantastic fight here for Lambo. This was the first fight in this game where I would say, okay, this was extremely good. This actually was very, very good. Overall unit loss tab. Oh, we have 2 different unit loss tabs. Which one is the true one? Oh, I guess this one just separates these 2. No. Okay, yeah. Lambo is up in unit lost. Or, well, he's down in unit lost, but he lost less resources, so it's better, and thus he's kind of up in it. Although he has a lower number. Look at how useless these lurkers are. Complete idiots. No, that control actually was pretty neat out of Neeb as well. He stutter stepped with a DT in such a way that the lurkers didn't shoot him. Then he stopped doing it, and then he lost the DTs. But, well, I mean, the thought was good, and that's really the only thing that matters. A couple of stasis wards on the map as well, makes it difficult for the opponent to chase. Usually broodlings will trigger them at this phase of the game, however, so it's not that brilliant. Shield weapons level, or shield weapons. Shield armor, what's it called actually? Just shields. Upgrade shields. The shields upgrade. Ooh, very aggressive recall here in this base. Pure air army, literally a single Templar there. Has 2 feedbacks available though. Every single spore is going to get taken out. Might see another defensive recall here as well at the same time. Ooh, neural. Beautiful neural. 1 carrier gets taken out. Can we get another carrier taken out? Or is that not how this life works? We're gonna see another recall now. Is a recall available? No, it's not! I think Neeb just realized that now. He's like, uh-oh, wait, I don't actually have a recall available? This is really bad. This is potentially a game-losing fight. Well, there's still a lot of money in the bank for Neeb, but Parasitic Bomb gets cast. Here comes the Loco Maneuver. The Loco Maneuver is when you fly into the carriers while Parasitic Bomb is active. That means if the carriers target on the Corruptors, the Interceptors will die against the Parasitic Bomb. And indeed, every single one of these carriers is going to end up falling. Oi, oi, oi. Beautiful, beautiful engagement here out of Lambo. Neeb misjudging the cooldown on that recall, and that's a monumental error. Now, this all looks very bad, but Neeb has been up in bases this entire time. And this base is mining out quickly, let's not forget about that. These gas is already missing about 1k in gas each. Zealot run-by is going to move towards the far right side, so that's going to leech a little bit of the attention that Lambo has and that he wants to use into killing this base. We have Ultras on the way right now. There's 6 more carriers coming in as well. I wouldn't even have minded if these Corruptors would have just kind of sat above the Stargates. It's not going to be the case right now. Ooh, huge fungal. Is going to Budo as well right now. That is 17 Zealots that are going to die. And this looks like a bad investment out of Neeb, but it feels like it was a pretty necessary investment to not completely lose this position here. He might still end up losing that position no matter what though. That would actually suck. Top base is still not mining here for Lambo. I really think these mineral patches are kind of vital. Ooh, Blink Stalker is going to blink over this. I don't think that's actually possible. I tried this before. You need vision with the Watchtower in order to blink over. Then you can blink over. But without Watchtower vision, it's not actually possible. There's also creep there to spot for it, so yeah, that's a pretty big deal. Lurkers are going to move towards the top side, trying to match the movement of these Stalkers, I guess. We have 6 more carriers on the way, so that means we're going to be up to 12 carriers. They have 333 upgrades. This Nexus will get taken out another time. Lurkers actually finding some use, as they are good against Stalkers, and there's Stalkers on the map. So right now, these Stalkers are making the Lurkers important. That is something you don't want. Did he just start attacking his own... He just killed one of his own probes. Yikes. Not a good look. More probes being sacrificed for the greater good. Dumbledore would be proud. We'll start fighting these Broodlings. A couple of Stalkers here start rotating. Oh my god, that was a very wild blink. If you get fungal there, you lose every single Stalker. A couple of Corruptors will get taken out. That's 2 Corruptors that end up dying here. Fungal, ooh, gets dodged there. Good blinking. Good and happy blinking here for Neeb. It's going to move towards the bottom side, while this main army moves towards the top. Ooh, blinks forward, takes out 1, 2, 3. Lambo not quite realizing what's going on here. Is going to lose a crap ton of Broodlords immediately. Lambo will look at these Broodlords and be like, hey, where did the others go? Guys? It's like a horror movie, you know? When people split off, and it's like, hey, where did that one group go? Well, they're dead. That's how it actually works. You stick together all together. The killer never goes after a group of 8 people. Splitting up in an old school building is not that useful. I guess usually in horror movies they don't quite know what's actually happening. It's pretty unfair to judge as the spectator in a horror movie. All I know that if I ever would get into a very scary situation, I don't think I'd ever split up. But power in numbers, safety in numbers as well. I like this Stalker army just kind of functioning as the second hand of Neeb, you know? Kind of have the one hand is just hitting, and then the right one is more like a third hand actually. Like this is just the regular boxer, you know, 2 hands. He's just poking and prodding, doing all the good type of stuff. And then you have this, is like a third hand that comes out of the stomach, and there's sometimes just like a small little punch. The other guy in the ring is like, hey, where the hell did that hand come from? It's the Stalker hand, my friend. Tish! Hits hard, but can only hit from the gut into your opponent's gut. That's how it is. It can't knock you out, you know, unless you can hit very hard into someone's gut. I think you can probably get knocked out by getting hit in the gut. Well, I once did a boxing class, and one guy hit me hard on the side of my stomach. I couldn't breathe for like 5 minutes. To be fair, I was 14, he was like 28. Yeah, a lot more power than I had. Good recall here with the carriers in towards the main base. Does mean, however, once again, that after we just saw that recall being used here on this Nexus, that this army is stuck. We might see a repeat of the previous scenario. This time around, though, there is a couple of Templars with this army. Stasis wards are being thrown down as well. Can we get a couple of feedbacks? Maybe we can. Stalker's taking out a lot of spores as well. Lurker's not in the correct position. Oi, oi, oi. Here come a couple of good feedbacks. Microbial Shroud is being used on these ultras as well. I actually think that this is going to be a good fight here for Lambo if he decides to engage into it. Here we go. Parasitic Bomb gets used. Does it get used? Yep, there we go. Corruptors once again move in. Interceptors are going to start falling like flies. Look at that interceptor count go down. That is ridiculous. Every single last carrier will get taken out. The problem for Lambo is, however, he's out of money and Neeb is not. Neeb could remax right now on any composition that he wants to, and despite these relatively poor, well, relatively, these god awful, these terrible, these garbage fights that Neeb has been taken, it still feels like he is winning. He just has so much money in the bank. He's getting immortals right now. He's taking out every single tech structure that he can find. He's going to keep blinking and blunking around. We'll take out... Oh my god, that was a great blinding cloud. Holy crap, that was beautiful. That was actually beautiful. At the same time, though, the Zealots moving in will take out the mineral income on this base. We still have some gas being mined on this bottom right side. That's 500 gas here. We have... Holy crap, we have like 3k gas in this topside base. That topside base is so important right now. Neeb is actually running out of gas as well. It's going back into carriers. And my question is this the correct play? There's also 3k gas here. So there's still 6k gas on the map. And it's going to be a battle for gas, nothing else. Will Lambo be capable of getting his own gas? And will Neeb be capable of getting this middle gas? Once again, probes getting sacrificed for no real reason. It's not like Neeb is having, wants to get a bigger army because he's maxed already. No. Right now he's trying to max out on Zealot Immortal. It's one of these compositions that sound really good if your opponent has no brain. Sadly for Neeb, Lambo has a brain. So these Lurkers and these Brute Lords are definitely going to be dealing with that just fine. 6 carriers are out. I actually, in these low eco situations, I think I prefer Tempest. I really do believe I prefer Tempest in this type of scenario. But it seems like Neeb is not with me when it comes to that. Corruptor Viper flying towards the top side of the map. This is so many Zealots. And they're also so useless. I mean, I understand why he's building Zealots. Is because he has so little gas. If he can trade Zealots for anything, it's probably good at this point. Wants to be taking out a couple of bases at the same time, like a bunch of tech maybe. Taking out this hatchery is actually pointless. Like, it really has no point, which is the definition of pointless. The Zealots in the main base are not doing much of anything either. Trading against Lynx and Banes is actually kind of good. You want to throw away minerals and take out gas. If the Hive gets sniped, that would mean that every single building that you take out after would be huge as well. There's only 3-4 Brute Lords here. That means that this bottom side base is going to get taken out. Zealots are going for the Lurker Den right now. We'll start fighting the Hydra Den afterwards probably as well. We have, well, a bunch of Corruptors. What is that? 2 Vipers still around. 6 Brute Lords. 4 Tempest on the way, and this is the correct call. This is the only correct call, and I think he should have done this quicker already. If you can snipe every single Brood Lord here, there's no money to rebuild them, and I think Neeb is somewhat aware of that. Gas is being mined right now on this top side. Hatchery once again gets rebuilt. Supply in favor of Lambo. Lambo right now is winning, I think. But I'm not sure if that's true. Lurker's actually useful. Hate to see it. Battery farm. These pay off over time because you get more energy on them. That's why we call it a battery farm. Farms also always pay off over time. Initially you have to invest in land and then, plant the seeds. But then the land just gives you food back for free. It's really crazy for your labor. Farms are a magical concept. Good storm there, by the way, hitting a large chunk of these links. Battery farm is going to get attacked here. That's frustrating because all of these batteries are half energy. Zealots are actually draining all of that battery energy as well. Lambo's pushing in right now. Batteries get taken out. Can we get another storm? Can we get another storm? Can we get another storm? No, we can't. Yes, we can. Lurker's taking a fair hit of damage. Oop. 2 of the Tempests get taken out already. Man, Lambo's fighting like a cheetah. I'm not sure if cheetahs are good at fighting. They're really quick. Lambo also is quite quick. Whoop! Oracle! No! Tempest! Another Tempest! Another Tempest! Another Tempest? No, Carrier, Tempest. There we go. Lambo just clicking bodies over here. Would you look at that? There is so many carriers that just went down. The ground fight is also being won here by the German Zerg player. And I think that, ladies and gentlemen, that we might have a game. A game over. Gold is practically mined out. 20... No, that's not 20k. 15-ish. Yeah, 15k. Resources lost more here for Neeb. Lambo still has a complete mining base. He has the bottom side also. Well, that's not completely mining, but there's a lot of gas there, which is valuable. I think Lambo has actually done it. Neeb stuck with a crap army. Lambo stuck with also a crap army, but more crap. And more crap often beats less crap. I say that. This is a scary flank, actually. Nah, Lurker's just a little bit too strong here. Link's being microed correctly. Not really fighting, just moving back. Trying to force the Zealots to chase him. GG gets called as Lambo wins this game. And what a game it was over here on Stargazers. 32 minutes of high-level carrier Phoenix action. And actually a pretty entertaining game. It's nice that if not every single game is a late game with carriers and broodlords and that type of stuff, you start to appreciate the late games again as well. Like, I haven't seen one of these in a while. You see once every week and a half, you know, or once every week you see a game like this, and the rest is just stalker spam with oracles, which is also fun to watch. Matchup definitely has improved over the past few months. It's fun to see. Lambo does get the win here. Doesn't really seem to lose much in that late game. Fantastic stuff out of Neeb as well in the early stages of that late game. But yeah, could not quite get the proper fights that he wanted. That is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you had a good time. And if you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.